viewers, and welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. We got us a Kia Rondo. Never heard of one of them, never seen one actually, at least around here. Like I say, it's an 07, it's got the 2.7 V6, the Kia Hyundai motor there. It was bought at an auction, so a used car dealer dropped this off to me. Evidently it has an extended crank, and I proved that when I went to go bring it in. Now, like most auction cars, the battery was completely spanked, so I jumped it and really had to crank it. You know, I would say 20-second crank, so quite an extended crank. And then once it started, it seemed to run fine. He claims that if you let it sit for 5 minutes, it does it again. It always starts, but you let it sit, and it starts again immediately. If you let it sit 5 minutes, you have the extended crank, but if you shut it off and then wait 20 seconds, start it back up, it fires right back up. So we should get started. Needless to say, I put the charger on it on nuclear about a half hour or so ago. Battery's dead, so no codes, no direction, of course no history on the car, how long it's been doing it or anything like that. It should have been sitting long enough now that we should be able to experience the extended crank, so I can share that with you folks, even though I've seen it. This way here you guys can see what it is, and then we'll figure out a plan of attack. So Kia, now one thing I do notice, I don't hear a fuel pump prime. Now that may not be characteristic of this car, so don't get too excited about that, but let's go ahead and crank it. So quite the extended crank there. We did see, or hopefully you saw the tach kind of move up as we started cranking. I'll shut it off. It does start normal then, so well, let's figure out what we're gonna do. Well, we know the car starts and runs fine once it starts. Just based on the way this is working, in the back of my mind I'm thinking fuel delivery issue, fuel pump bleed off is my first initial thought, simply because it doesn't do it every single time. Now I have already, while I was sitting here waiting for the charger, I grabbed the launch. I went through and checked some data PIDs, coolant temp, intake air temp, just kind of some basic, just seeing if there was anything in any of the modules that were going to tell on each other. Nothing really important there. Some TPMS codes, some airbag codes, but nothing that's going to give us any direction. Just when I was scanning through the data key on engine off, I didn't notice anything that I thought was way out of whack. Nothing like that. But I did notice we do have some bidirectional controls. I think because key on, I don't hear this fuel pump prime, and I'm suspicious of fuel delivery issue. Before we get too far into it looking, is this supposed to have a prime, isn't it? Is that part of our problem? Whatever. I think what we can do is we'll let it sit here, for 5 minutes or so. We'll go to bidirectional controls. We'll toggle that fuel pump on and off a bunch of times and let it, essentially prime the fuel system. Now, if the car starts immediately, then we'll know that, that's our issue. Fuel delivery, whether it's, in the pump, some check valve, pressure regulator, bleeding back, whatever. We'll take it from there. I'm just speculating at this point. I think that's the easiest way to do it without, without getting messy and without really doing anything. So we've waited our allotted time, actually waited about 10 minutes. I got sidetracked there. So we're going to just grab the launch. We're going to go under actuation test. We'll go to fuel pump relay. So stop on conditions engine off. So we'll hit start. So you guys hear that fuel pump cycling. Then we'll stop it and then we'll try to start it. Boy, it wasn't nowhere as near as long as it was. Wasn't perfect, but it was a whole lot better. What I want to see, let's see, it's 6:12 right now. Let's just give it a minute just to see what that does. That definitely made an improvement in my mind. 1 minute later. Now see, ain't got it sitting on 5 minutes. Let's give it another minute. We'll rerun the toggle test now that we've heard what a 1 minute soak does, just to verify it. And I'm pretty satisfied with our first go around there, but we'll do it 2 times, being that it only takes a minute. Alright, here we go. It's been a minute or so. We will come back into our fuel pump relay. We'll turn it on. Sometimes when a fuel pump drains back, you'll hear it, especially with this one, the way it toggles the pump, you might hear the pump spins easy, then a little harder, a little harder. You almost can kind of hear it build the pressure. I rolled the window up, so maybe we can hear it this time. Yeah, I hope you guys could hear that. I don't know if it'll start with this test running, probably not. I'll stop it. Definitely starts easier. It is a fuel delivery issue, fuel drain back issue. So hopefully the camera picked up that the sound of that fuel pump. When it first turned on, it's like, you know, you heard it kind of groan down. I don't really know how to explain that, but as it builds pressure, naturally you can hear the pump labor. I think our testing here is pretty definitive. We never left the driver's seat, so now we got to find out where the fuel pump is, or fuel pressure port, which most of these don't have. I think you got to test these right at the fuel pump. We'll see what's going on, see if it has the ability to hold pressure, or see what we can figure out. Looks like the old Rondo. Look at that. I don't even think we got to pull the dang seat out of it. So that is right behind. She's a 3-rower. Right there in the middle. It's got to be it. Let's go grab a 8mm, 7mm, something like that. We'll get that cover off. Hope you guys can see right there. I did look under the hood. Typical Hyundai. I don't have any adapters to go up on the rails, so usually I can finagle something back here. Another screw up top, is there? Oh yeah. You stuck one way up under there. 2 of them way up under there. Of course they did. Now let me get a ratchet. It's awful nice of Kia to put this right here. Well, look at that. I mean, that's like in our face right there. Well, let's see, a returnless fuel system must be. Looking that way. But it shouldn't be too awful bad. Probably ought to get some rags here before we get too hot. Wow. Kind of scoot you guys back out of the way. I don't think we're going to have any pressure on it, but I'll stick a little diaper over here just in case she squirts. Let's see, we got to pull that up. Usually there's a couple tabs. I think you're supposed to pinch them with your fingers, but my digits don't work so well. I think that's how it goes. Yeah, there she is. So didn't blow back on us, so it definitely is a pressure issue. So that's 5/16 or 8mm. I tell you what, instead of trying to hook in to make the car run and all that stuff, why don't we just hook our pressure gauge right on the pump, and we'll just briefly deadhead it and see if the pump can hold pressure, and then take it from there. Let me, I got a fuel pressure gauge right here. Hold on, folks. Keep coming. Hold on. Da, da, da. Well, actually, you know what? I don't have any way to... Sitting in the way kind of sucks. Probably be just as easy. I don't think that helped me worth the beans. Didn't help me at all, did it? Oh, crap biscuit. I'm going to do this and get that on there. get hooked up or not. I should just take and unplug everything and take this dang lid right clean off, but I'm being stubborn. That's what Mrs. O tells me. Once in a while. Yeah, we'll pull the line up here a little bit. Oh man, I don't think it's gonna reach, is it? You gonna reach? Oh yeah, she reached. Gonna have a little kink in it. Should still flow. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll get our gauge. Hook that up. We'll keep the diapers here because this gauge set's wicked old and has a tendency to pee a little. Let me flick the key on. I'll grab our scan tool there. Alright, key is on. We'll grab this little guy. Go back to actuation test. Fuel pump relay. Activating failed. Why the heck did it fail? What are you doing to me here, little launch? Well, let me back out of here. We'll pop back in. Maybe gotta shut it off in the middle of the test. I don't know. See, fuel pump relay on. Not showing anything. There she goes. Okay, I'm going to stop it. I stopped it. Oh, she's bleeding back quick. I think it's quicker than... I don't think we ain't peeing out that much. So she is dropping there pretty quick. I got just a little tiny leak there. Not bad. Let me finagle that around under the seat here. This is where we can see it. Oh yeah, we can watch her drop now. So technically, if we go to start it, I'm assuming we're going to see that build up real slow. I guess we can test that theory. You guys keep an eye on it. I'm going to go crank the old girl. Should have an extended crank right now, as a matter of fact. I'm going to try to see it here. Yep. Well, I think that's about all there is to see here, folks. Definitely bleeding back. No doubt about it. Well, it is a returnless fuel system. It should hold pressure. We don't have to worry about the regulator. It's up on the rail like on a return line, you know. That was, yeah, I should have just done that like 10 minutes ago. So I'm thinking what we ought to do, maybe pull the pump out. How does that come out? How do you come out of there, little pump? What's that, got some kind of special screwing apparatus to get this little guy out? Looks like a looks like I need a big spanner or a chisel. I ain't never seen nothing like that before, folks. So that's a first for me. Let's get a 10mm. We'll get that busted off. This connector here, whatever it goes to, not sure offhand without looking. I assume this unscrews. If that's the case, we'll unscrew it. We'll pull the pump out because we could have a bad pump, or you can actually have an internal leak. Would be the other option. Either one are going to cause this scenario. You know, if we open it up, there's no internal leaks, then it simply needs a fuel pump. Who knows? Maybe this thing was taken to auction because of this symptom, or as far as we know, whoever owned it prior to this guy getting it, I mean, they could have drove it for a long time like this and never really cared. Well, there is a special service tool for this. It's this big 4-pin looking thing. We're using a non-sparking device here. Let's see if we can't get it to tap loose. Oh, she ain't moved. I feel like a caveman. I can't tell if she's moving. Let's mark a little spot so we can tell. That scratch lines up with that hole. Heck yeah, she's moving, son. I need a bigger hammer, I'll tell you that. Alright. Got something a little different. Oh, we're cooking with fire now. Who needs special service tool? Number whatever. Need punch and chisel. Boing, she popped right up. That was nice. Alright, set that out of the way. Okay. This is where it all goes wrong. Big jumbo O-ring there. Oh, dang it, it slipped out of my hand, slippery little sucker. Dang it, I don't want to pull the dang seat out. Yeah, sugar, I think I see. Oh, I didn't have to pull the seat. I think I see our problem, folks. Come on, you little... Don't want to have to drain down in there. So far it's running in the tank. We're in good shape. We gotta clear the float. And then we gotta get up on the diaper. Okay, we're up on the diaper. Woo! Nothing in the rug yet. Can you guys see that? That's a fuel pressure outlet for the pump. And it's broke. Let me set my O-ring to the side. Is that broke enough to... Heck yeah, it is. The freaking other tab is broke off it. Look at that. Well, I'll be jiggered. Thing's got some up pressure on it. It's got some serious ups. That would cause a internal leak. I'll be dang. I'll be gal dang. Let me let that rest there and get my handy dandy. That wasn't really dramatic. We'll try again. Really not good at that. It's after hours and it's Friday. And this got dropped off on my lap. Wonder if this whole... Looks like she broke. How in the thunder does that? I want the whole goddamn thing to come off there, but she won't. Oh, because it's got 3 lock tabs, I see. Why in the thunder didn't they put 4 on there? We wouldn't be in this predicament. And then they put the dang 3rd one on the back where you can't get to it with your knife. There we go. There's 1, 2. There she is.
That's it, fellas. That lock tab is broke. That lock tab is broke. We've got one good one. That is the pressure side of the pump. That is our problem, lady. I wonder, you know what, there's really nothing we can do about it. You know, we can't, you can't even like put it down, put a clamper on it. This junk is broke. It needs a freaking fuel pump. Can you believe that? For that one little broken thing. I wonder, just for the sake and purpose of testing tonight, because I'm not gonna leave this fuel pump out of it, leave my bay plugged up. Why don't we when we pop this thing back off, I'll go upstairs, I'll get us a little hose clamp, we'll stick around it, we'll crank her down. Proof of concept. Should seal up a whole lot better than it was. We'll shove it on there, we'll cram her down with a hose clamp just to keep it down there tight, and then test it. And I mean, obviously we got to get, I doubt they make a repair kit or anything for this, but looks like we got to buy a whole stinking fuel pump module because of that. Hopefully this clamp is big enough. Okay, I tightened her up when I was fiddling with it. This might work. It's kind of a jury rig, but let me get her somewhat snug here. I'll push it down and give her some beans. I have to hold her down kind of tight because it does have a rubber O-ring in there. That's like a permanent fix. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Ain't up to me. Alright. Now, get my knife away from this O-ring. Uh-oh, our O-ring got a little bit fat on us. Alright, O-ring is back in there. It's nice we didn't have to take the seats out. Let me get the lock ring. I'm sitting there. Let me make sure I didn't miss some kind of locator tab or something. There is a little locator tab right there. Yep. So there is a little locator tab. It is spring loaded, so I gotta kind of hold down on it here. And for the next 45 minutes, I'm gonna try to get this thing started. No joke. I gotta get this diaper out of here. Okay. Get the knife away from me. There she goes. Alright, well, we can see the ones we were beating on, so I'll just beat her back till it's torqued to spec. Let's see, that's the original one I started beating on. This hole was lined up with that scratch mark. Look at that. She is torqued right back to the factory setting. we'll stick that on there. We ain't gonna bother putting the cover on right now. We got here, got a little 2-wire. We got this. Ba-boom. Yeah, of course we'll put this back on before people get all excited. We'll just have to take the gas line back off, you big dummy. Man, I'm such a moron. I'm gonna put a fuel pump in it anyways. Of course I gotta talk to the customer. But he is a used car guy, so he may, I know he has a shop, so he may do his own repair. I won't know till Monday. I think today's Friday. You know what? Why don't we just put it back the way it belongs? I know it's gonna run, but yeah, I won't make you guys watch me do the whole thing. There we go. That faces forward. That goes through there. Nobody really cares at this point. Everybody wants to know if it runs. They're already skipping ahead. It's okay. I feel you. I do the same thing. Boom! Alright, so naturally our first crank is going to be extended because everything's empty. Let her prime up. I just heard it prime up nice and solid right there, so maybe it'll start real easy. Nope, not real easy. Too fast. Alright, let's give it a minute. Alright, well, she's been a couple minutes. Ooh, look at that. We fixed it. Let's see what we got here. 7 o'clock. Oh, Mrs. O said I should be home at 7. But I've been late before. I'll give it, 3-4 minutes here. Because, we put the clamp on there. It should hold that, rubber O-ring there. It's just kind of a flat-faced seal. Hopefully you guys saw that. So the pump sits down inside that, fuel pump module. So you got the actual little electric pump that sits in there. And that's kind of a cheese dog setup they got, where that, just has those 3 little lock tabs on it. Sits down on there, and it's just, keeps that O-ring that has some, some tension on it as that rubber, kind of smushes down. So that's actually a lot of tension up on just those, those 3 little clamps. Of course, I'm gonna have to call a guy and see, that's obviously the problem, and what we did, is helping it, I believe. Is it right? I don't know. As a businessman, I have to recommend to them to, replace the fuel pump, or if they make a repair kit or something, which I doubt, simply because it's not, 100% proper. In my opinion, if it was my own car, I'd probably leave it like that and I would drive it. But that's my own car. If I do something like that and it were to fail and then it goes to another shop and then they look at it and they're like, oh, look, this guy rigged this thing up. I did rig it up. It's not the way it was from the factory. I'm just wondering, like, if you got a new one and let's say, it's just still the same design, it's just got those 3 lock tabs, could you perhaps prevent, future failure by installing a clamp on it, while it's new? I don't know. And perhaps aftermarket units, if they're available, maybe they're a different design. This might be OEM only, I'm not sure. Let's see, it's 7:02. We got it. That's the phone ringing. I bet you I know who it is. Hey, easy.
I'm on the phone. Stop. What?
You're on YouTube, just FYI.
I'm on YouTube, like right now.
Like right now. I told the people,
Great.
I just told the people that I'm supposed to be home by 7, and boom, guess who called us at 7 o'clock?
Well,
Crack.
your family's waiting for you.
Cracking that whip.
Yep.
All right.
We need some family time.
All right, well, we got this car all licked, so I'm out of here. I'm out of here like a pregnant chick's belly button.
So, like, you'll be home really soon?
7:18, I'll be walking through that door. With bell,
Okay.
with bell done.
Love ya.
All right, yeah, love you. Bye. You heard the lady. Gotta go. All right, folks, that's it. The boss has called. Tonight is family movie night at the O's house, so we're gonna go home and watch some movie with the children and whatnot. And I think we got this little guy licked. Of course, I'll let her sit over the weekend and see how it starts on Monday, and then tell him what the fix is gonna be. And that's it. So hopefully you guys learned a little something. Maybe you got a Kia Rondo. I think that's how you pronounce it. And if you have an extended crank and maybe you don't have any diagnostic stuff, no fuel pressure gauges or nothing, it might be worth a little look-see to see if that thing is leaking. Comes out pretty easy. Make sure you put some diapers down there because it's going to make a mess. Oh, excuse me, man, that Coke is getting to me today. And we'll leave it at that. So anyhow, questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, and go down below in the comment box. Find us wherever you can find us. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.